If the medusas weren't bad enough, now I have to deal with construct-like scorpions that fire magic from their tails. I don't want to be on the receiving end of that magic. It looks powerful. Those creatures look powerful. Everything on this floor has been just as deadly as everything on the previous floors. Okay, not the floor with the minotaurs, but the floor before it with the medusas. This place is treacherous. The sorceress must have known that there'd be creatures like this here, and yet she still sent me to go and deal with this place? Surely she must have known that I would be ill-prepared alone to take care of it. I should have brought other people with me. More people would have helped me. If I'd have got petrified, they would have been able to have unpetrified me with magic, or backed me up with their own magic to defeat the medusas before they could do it. I was foolish to come here alone, but I'm here now, and I have no option but to press forward. It's just as dangerous to go back, and perhaps there might be an exit to this place at the very bottom, some portal that takes me to the surface. I'm sure that the creator of this dungeon wouldn't have had it so that they couldn't escape easily if they needed to. Either way, I should rest and recuperate, and recharge my spells that are surely going to run out soon. And then I will see what these teleporters have to offer. Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Dungeon Hack, and when last we left off, we're still dealing with this floor. This floor that is beyond the halfway point, that is exceptionally deadly, for we are on the 10th floor of this 18-floor dungeon, and we've been encountering scaladars and etins here. The scaladars are able to kill us with a ranged instant death effect, which is quite nasty. We don't want to get hit by that ranged death effect, but we don't really have much option. If we get in the way of it, that is. Let's start preparing our spell, shall we? We want some prayer here. We also want aid. And aid, I think, is on the other page. There we go. We would want some true seeing, just in case we find any hidden illusions that we need to go through. We definitely need to have spiritual hammer. And we could have bless. Why not, eh? It can't hurt. There we go. Now that we have everything prepared, it's time to go to the next teleporter. And I also want to switch these around there. Much better. Or maybe we can just keep it like that. Actually, that's fine. Let's have a look at all the teleporters that we can go into. There are a lot of them here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And we're going to start from the one that's the furthest to the left and then work along, just so that I don't get confused as to which ones I've already been in. And I'm presuming that every single one of these is going to have scaladars on the other end that will instantly kill me. There's only one way to find out, and that is to go forward. And I mean forward, not backwards, as this corridor likes to do. I forgot for a moment there that that happens, and there are my various keys. I'm actually going to pick up these keys and drop these rations. I have quite a lot of rations. We have 6 of them in total, so I think I'm going to be okay if I drop a few of them. And this is when having those rations was key to my success. I hardly doubt it, but you never know. Alright, it's time to save and head through this teleporter. Any enemies on the other side? The answer is yes, there is. There are 2 enemies. There are 3 enemies on the other side of that. Whoa. That's a lot of enemies. So how am I going to get through there without dying horribly? My only hope is that I wait for them to move. We'll be back there at another time. For now, I'm going to do some healing. I believe that is, that is another key. I'll drop this, actually I might want that potion. I want to drop a potion that I haven't identified, like this magenta potion. I also want to drop this hammer so I can do some healing, because, ouch. And Cure Critical there did very little indeed. That's okay, we have enough Cure Light to get ourselves to full health. Eventually. Or maybe this Iron Stone will heal us. As somebody said, it does heal me, but very slowly. We're talking about 1 hit point every 5 hours or so, in-game. But still better than nothing. Alright, we'll try this teleporter. There is only 1, Nope, two enemies in here, and it looks like both of them are scaladars, and both of them have gone into that teleporter. That is unfortunate. There is a door here that we can open. Hopefully here leads to an area that we can explore that doesn't have more scaladars. Also, we're at 5 health. Even when they don't instantly kill you, those enemies are dangerous. Let's see how much healing we can get done. It's very likely that we're going to have to rest here, unless these cure serious wounds heal a lot, which so far they're really not. I've been very unimpressed with the higher level healing spells. They tend to heal about the same amount most of the time as the most basic healing spell. That said, we could have heal prepared, and to be honest, I don't know why I don't have heal prepared. I have harm prepared for some reason. I think that might be a mistake on my part. Let's get heal ready, shall we? And let's get ready to go further down this corridor. If there were enemies here, we'd have encountered them by now. There's an enemy! We didn't encounter that one until right now. There are 2 enemies, in fact. We'll just back up here. They still hit really hard. Nowhere near as hard as the scaladars do, but still hard. There we go, 18 points of damage there. And we saw another Etin down there. Yep, very briefly. Headed to the north. I'm wary of going down there, of course, because scaladars may ambush me from the south. But it seems like the enemy is coming this way. Haha! Time to back up a bit, and take another 11 points of damage, and swing with this weapon for no reason. We are victorious, however. Time to head this way, and find absolutely nothing. But what about this way? There's a corridor that goes down here, and winds around, and we have a key for that. Or maybe we dropped that on the floor. We dropped that on the floor, didn't we? Back where the teleporter was. Let's quickly go back and get that. It's handy at least that the key is nearby. This key will be used to open the door that will lead to more places that we can explore. And hopefully, there aren't any scaladars. There are scaladars! That was definitely wishful thinking. We want to go this way and hit you with that, and then very quickly back up, and be mindful of the fact that we can go this way to get away from you. Because you are deadly, and you are now dead. But there was another enemy in there as well, and I imagine that enemy was not a scaladar. However, we do only have 18 health right now. I think now is a good time to rest. In fact, now is a brilliant time to rest. We may have barely been doing anything, but resting right now will prevent us from dying later. Excellent plan. Rest and recuperate, and this time actually have heal prepared instead of harm. Heal is just a fantastic spell. In the earlier editions of D&D, it would just restore all of your health. In later editions, it doesn't restore all of it, but it restores a lot. I think in 3.5 it's 10 hit points per level to a maximum of 150, which for a lot of characters basically is a full heal. Alright, we want prayer here, and the same other spells that we always prepare. If only there was some button that would just let you cast all of these spells one after another in a single press. That would be quite handy, but unfortunately we don't have that option. So instead, we're going to cast everything manually. And now that we're ready, we're going to press forward once more. These corridors are even more treacherous than I first thought, and I thought they were very treacherous with those constructs. Are there any of them in here? There's nothing in here. All of that fighting was rewarded with absolutely nothing. Nothing but death. Well, fortunately not my death in this instance, but it very well could have been. And there are enemies on the other side, the enemies that went through that teleporter. I'm very wary of facing them, but I have no choice if I'm to progress. Alright, nothing else here. Time to backtrack, and face that foe that I didn't face before. We need to be very careful as to where that enemy is. That enemy is there, so we really won't have much of a way to retreat if we want to. Let's save, and let's go through here and do battle with this foe that's actually there, and has now gone into the area that we were in before. that's handy because we have no desire to go there ever again. We also have no desire to go this way, because that way is still full of doom. There are in fact 4 enemies in there now, so there is precisely no possibility that I'm going in there anytime soon. Or ever. Alright, we'll head north instead. There are 2 enemies here, and they're both scaladars. This does not surprise me. Alright, we'll just back up a bit more and go round the corner. How about thee, scaladar? Quickly back up from the scaladar. There we go, and again, back up some more. You're going to come around this corner, and hopefully, aha, we defeated you. And we're now level 13. And we only gain 2 hit points. There seems to be a running trend with our hit point gain. Oh well, more spell casting is always welcome. We've gained 1 extra 2nd level spell. Hold Person really hasn't been that useful right now. Maybe another slow poison? We also have an extra 3rd level spell. Let's see, Remove Curse might be good. We're not likely to ever actually be afflicted by a curse because we can see the cursed items, but just in case it might be a good thing to have ready. We also have an extra 4th level spell. Let's see, what could we have ready? Another Cure Serious seems like a good idea, and that's about it. Alright, still better than nothing. Excellent. Let's go forward and defeat the other enemy that's here. I believe there was another scaladar. Unless the scaladar has... Ah, there you are! And we better back up away from that. We don't want to get zapped into oblivion right after gaining a level. Come this way! Into my spiritual hammer's radius of attack, which is theoretically infinite. Alright, very carefully we want to move. And very carefully we want to move so that we don't get hit by that. We did get hit by that, but very luckily we weren't killed by that. I don't think the spiritual hammer's dealing any damage if I attack through that teleporter. I mean, we could try, but if we look at the map here, there are actually only 3 enemies now. Did I actually kill one of them by throwing the spiritual hammer through the teleporter? I may have done so. Let's give this a try, shall we? We may be able to thin the numbers enough that we might be able to go in there. There are still only 3 enemies. Fair enough. Let's go to this teleporter now. This one to the north, after of course we've done some healing, because ouch, we took a lot of damage, even though we didn't get instantly killed. And that right there is a much better use of Cure Serious Wounds. After 1 Cure Serious and 1 Cure Light, we are fully healed and ready once more to face the enemies ahead of us. After we've saved, of course. Always got to save when instant death effects are involved. Let us see what lies beyond. And in this area is a scaladar. I saw that almost immediately. Hello, you, and this isn't a big area for us to navigate around. Also, I don't like the fact that there was a pause there after that enemy attacked us. It meant that we could have taken a lot of damage and I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. Also, we are just generally taking a lot of damage here. But that scaladar is now dead. And that's good. We also had to wait quite a while there for the spiritual hammer to come back. There's a locked door, and I think we have the key to open that. We do! But before I do that, I'm going to drop this weapon. I accidentally used the weapon there, do some healing, and then get ready for whatever's on the other side. Because I'm going to take a guess and say that there are quite a lot of dangerous foes on the other side. Even the Ettins are quite dangerous because they hit rather hard. And in combination with the scaladar, they'll kill us pretty quickly. Alright. Time to save, because we defeated 1 enemy on the other side of a teleporter. Ideally, we want to clear out these areas and then never come back, and find the exit as quickly as we possibly can, because we know there's nothing interesting here. There might be interesting things here, though, and then we'll have cleared this one and that one. We'll clear that one next, and then we'll have a look at this one last. This one that does have 4 enemies. It doesn't seem like we killed any of them with us throwing that spiritual hammer through the teleporter. Alright. Any enemies here? The answer is, there's a scaladar! I'm not surprised that there's a scaladar here. We need to deal as many hits as we possibly can before this enemy gets close to us. And the enemy is now close to us, and we don't want to die here. And that's a few hits there. If we move over here, it'll take a little while for this enemy to get close to us. Aha! And then we can defeat you. We can take advantage of the fact that you'll try and reposition, and while you're repositioning, we're getting ready to defeat you. We need some more healing here. And hopefully an enemy isn't going to sneak up on us while we're doing this healing. Any more scaladars in there? And this is when there is another one. There is another one! Aha! Surprising no one. I imagine Celadran was definitely expecting that. And we are already against the wall. This isn't good. What we want to do actually is reposition over to here. And you have gone through the teleporter. That is both a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because that means there's an enemy there. It's a bad thing because we'll have to deal with you later. Alright, let's have a look over here. There's nothing here. Is there anything here that justified all of that peril that we went through? The answer is currently no. There's a door that we can unlock. Any scaladars on the other side? Surprisingly no. No enemies on the other side so far. There's a door that doesn't look like it can be opened, but there's a switch there that we'll be using in a moment. After, of course, we save, because there might be an instant death enemy on the other side. If in doubt, save before you open a door, and move away from the door after you've opened it, because there's a scaladar on the other side. There we go, we'll just very quickly move away from that. That was instant doom if ever I saw it. Alright, we'll hit you there and back up a bit more, and you're launching that at us. It hit, but it didn't deal that much damage. We need to get a few more hits in on you before we're up against the wall, which we already are. And you went through that teleporter. There's only one enemy still there. I wonder if I'm killing them before they go through the teleporter. Either way, I'm thankful that there's only one of them. And I'm now going to go this way, and there's another enemy. And it's another scaladar. Alright, we can take care of one more scaladar. At least I hope we can. After one hit here, we certainly can. That was only 8 points of damage. This weapon is really not good against the scaladars. Alright, we'll deal another hit there, and hopefully we'll just... Aha! You died before you could hit us for loads of damage. That is a success. Any more enemies in here? It doesn't look... Aha! There is one more enemy in here, but it's only an Etin. We can take care of an Etin. 8 points of damage is nothing, because you can't instantly kill me. There was nothing else in here, however. Nothing else in here at all. This little area, much like the other area, has nothing in it of any importance. And we know that that area links up to the massive corridor, much like this area does, and there are 2 enemies there. And there are 2 enemies in the area that I've let enemies walk into through that teleporter. And they're both scaladars, and I imagine the enemy that's down that corridor to the south of that area is also a scaladar. It's safe to say that this has got far more difficult. Far more difficult. That level that just had minotaurs was trying to lull me into a false sense of security, and I didn't let it do that because I knew full well that this game was going to get harder. And more challenging this game has certainly gotten. We're going to rest, I think. A good idea. We need to be far more prepared than we are right now to deal with what's on the other side of this teleporter. And deal with all the respawning enemies as well. There are a lot of respawning enemies in this game. We'll drop the Wand of Smiting. That hasn't been that useful right now. It's been very useful against the Etins, but not the scaladars. And I suppose it being useful against half of the enemies on this level is still pretty good. Alright, we'll have Aid here. And then we'll have Bless. We do have things like Scrolls of Protection from Magic, but we only have one of them. And I really don't want to use the only one I have against an enemy that's all over the level. Alright, we'll use Spiritual Hammer here. And I think we're as ready as we'll ever be to step through this teleporter. But that will be for next time, folks. For when we come back, we'll continue to explore the 10th level of this dungeon. There's still quite a lot left to explore. We have all this area and all of this area. And we know that this area is pretty much going to be one small location with a very big room full of enemies. I think that might be a place where I'm not going to explore for quite a while. But we have this location with two foes in it, and we can't really back that far away from it because of the fact that there's an enemy over there as well. I have a feeling this is going to be more difficult than even that, because at least there's a large room there that we can navigate around. There, not so much. So I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. Whoever was able to create all those constructs must have had a lot of money at their disposal. Making even simple constructs and infusing them with magical energy is a very time-consuming and expensive thing to do. And yet there are so many of them here. Perhaps there's some magical machine that is manufacturing them. The only way to find out would be to go further in and have a look, and as much as I don't want to, I must. Perhaps I can turn off the device that is creating them, for there appear to be an unlimited number of them. Unless they're coming out of the very walls. I haven't seen any illusionary walls that would let that happen. But maybe it's not an illusion. Now I'm second-guessing myself. I've been here so long that I'm imagining situations that can't happen. Or can they? Later.